Hi, this is Lindsay, one of the co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
History is happening in High Point as professional baseball has come to Furniture City. Don't miss any of the action from strikeouts,
3-2 cold strike 3 right at the knees,
to web gems,
stabbed by Alfonso, he spins, throws to first, and the pick by Bichette rounds out a beautiful play.
to home runs,
High fly ball deep left field. This one is gone. Get up and get out. Tyler Ladendorf.
and of course, every rockin' victory.
The pitch. Swing, strikeout, the Rockers win! The first win in Rockers history here at home.
Interviews, recaps, and insights from across the Atlantic League. It's all fresh off the Rockers.
Hey Rockers fans, Kendrick Fruits here for the final Off the Rockers podcast of 2019. And while it didn't quite end the way that we wanted it to, what a season it was. Let's go ahead and just kind of get through what we need to get through postseason-wise. And it was not really what the team wanted, not what we all wanted to see postseason. The Rockers lost in the first round to the Long Island Ducks, 3-0. But a lot of really great memories were made. And let's just start with that first game. John Brownell runs into a little bit of trouble early on, and the Rockers are down 7-1 going into the 7th inning of game number 1. But how about the resiliency of this team, putting up 6 runs in the 7th inning? Miles Schroeder, a big 2-run single that tied the ball game up in the 7th inning, just absolutely lit a spark under this team, under this fan base. The place went wild, and it was fantastic to watch. Unfortunately, Debinson Romero would hit a home run in the 8th inning, and Jared Mitchell's long fly ball caught at the warning track with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the Rockers lose 8-7 in Game 1. Game 2, just a little bit of a struggle against the Long Island Ducks. The Ducks jump out, and they scored in the 3rd inning. They scored again in the 6th, and the Rockers just couldn't keep up. Vin Mazzaro was masterful through 7 innings of work. And again, good hitting by the Ducks. Craig Stem struggled a little bit, and the Ducks take Game 2 pretty convincingly, 7-1. In Game 3, the scene shifts to Long Island, and a very tight ball game. Joe Van Meter, the guy in a win-or-go-home situation, this is the guy you want to give the ball to. And Van Meter pitched very well, but the Rockers just, again, offensively could not get it going, and they dropped the series finale by a score of 3-2. Quincy Lattimore, a 9th inning home run to make it 3-2 with nobody outs, and everybody started thinking, hey, there's a chance. But the Rockers just not able to complete the comeback, so they were bounced in the first round of the series, or the first round of the playoffs. Again, swept 3-0. But wanted to get that out of the way first because there's a lot of good stuff that came out of the season. First off, obviously it's the inaugural season, and you look back at all the great memories this year. And I think one of the first ones, you talk about the first ever win against the Barnstormers on opening day. You talk about Tyler Ladendorf's first walk-off home run for the team back in May. And the team continued to put up a lot of offensive numbers. And then on top of that, they provided a lot of late season magic, a lot of late game magic, a team that you could never count out until the final out was recorded. And then throughout the first half, a lot of personnel changes and a lot of new faces and a lot of original guys who were picked up by Major League Baseball or professional organized baseball. Dante Bichette Jr. goes to the Nationals. Seth Manis gets picked up. Quincy Lattimore gets signed by a team in Mexico. Of course, his return later would be a huge addition to the team. Brett Austin gets picked up, and just a lot of turnover. So they bring in guys like Michael Russell, Vio Sergi Rosa, and that's not even to say about the pitching staff, how you lose Matt Sergey to injury for a long period of time. So they add Michael Bowden. They add Dominic DeMasi. later on in the year, it would be Brownell and Stem that you would bring in. A lot of big-time additions for this baseball team, and a lot of additions that, provided this team the opportunity to go deep into the postseason. So, or gave them that opportunity to do so. So you look at the first half as a whole, ended up being a very tight race. In the first half, the Long Island Ducks won the division, but the Rockers and Somerset Patriots fighting for that wild card spot. Rockers didn't get pushed out of it until that last weekend of the first half. So very, very tight, competitive first half of the season. And it ended with, I think, one of the best accomplishments of the year, one of the biggest things. 7 High Point Rockers make it to the All-Star game. Braylon Almadova, outfield. Tyler Ladendorf, Stephen Cardullo, Joe Van Meter, and then you get to that bullpen. Sam Runyon, Asher Tolliver, Brian Clark, all selected to the All-Star game. And also Craig Stem, who, of course, was with Southern Maryland at the time, but finished the year with the Rockers. So 8 guys who spent time with the Rockers this year made it to the All-Star game. So just absolutely incredible in terms of the quality of players on this baseball team. And that was a comment that Jamie Keefe had made a couple of times during the course of the season, was that, they were looking for great people and great ball players, and you had to fit both of those molds to fit in to this ballpark, to this ball team. And a lot of people throughout the course of the year just constantly talking about, the quality of character in that clubhouse and the quality of athletes as well. And they said it's just a great combination and a very high level of both. So second half of the season gets underway, and the Rockers continue. They struggled a little bit out of the gate, but then we roll around to August, and they had a fantastic month of August, and really shot themselves up into the top of the leaderboard, gave themselves a great opportunity for postseason play. And Hector Gomez started heating up, ended up the year hitting, I think, 291, 12 home runs, 72 RBIs. Richie Schaefer, second in the league in home runs, 27, had 72 RBIs. And finished second in the league in home runs to Telvin Nash. Nash kind of finished in a whole nother zip code with 41 home runs this year, far and away the best total in the league. But the Rockers relied on power in the second half and stolen bases as well. At the end of July, they add Jared Mitchell from the Sugar Land Skeeters, the former first-round draft pick. Jared Mitchell was a 5-tool player who came in and gave this offense a spark. He had power, he had speed, good base running, good defense, and he really was a big addition to the Rockers in the second half. He steals a lot of bases. Michael Russell comes in and he steals 21 out of 22. Hector Gomez showed a lot of speed as well on the base paths. And so the team started to work more walks, and they started to incorporate speed as part of their game. And I felt like in the second half really became an extremely well-rounded team. Again, you saw even more dramatic finishes. Breland Almadova had a walk-off base hit. The night that Tyler Ladendorf hits a tying home run with 2 outs, Quincy Lattimore would come up and hit the walk-off home run just moments later. Just a fantastic game there. What about the camp day against Southern Maryland, where the Rockers win in extra innings on a walk-off error when the catcher dropped the ball on a forced play at the plate? Lots of memories made day in and day out at BB&T Point. And there were some great pitching performances as well. Joe Van Meter had some big strikeout games. Dominic DeMasi, Edwin Carl's 12 strikeout game. Michael Bowden's 12 strikeout game. I tell you what, when the Rockers picked up Michael Bowden, one of the biggest additions of the team made in 2019. And I think the coolest part was the immaculate inning by Michael Bowden. First inning of a ball game, comes in, throws 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. Something that's one of the most rare feats, rare pitching performances in baseball, and Michael Bowden came in and did just that. As the season wore down, obviously the offense struggled at times to keep putting runs on the board. The pitching staff went through a lot of changes, and when all was said and done, the Rockers just couldn't hang with the Long Island Ducks. But a fantastic season. Just very proud of this team. They did a whole lot of really good work, and I think they've set themselves up from a foundation standpoint to be in very good position for next year. So, yes, as a Rockers fan, you're kind of disappointed about the way the team bowed out early in the postseason, but As far as the first year goes, with the Rally Shark, with Rocker Ball, the big connections at the stadium, people loved coming out to the ballpark, and as a team, they loved having the fans there. To a man, all these players talk about how awesome it was to have the great support of High Point, the city, the fans, backing them every night. So a very, very good foundation, a strong foundation was laid at BB&T Point in 2019, and we're very much looking forward to seeing where this relationship between city and ball club goes in 2020. That'll wrap things up for Off the Rockers podcast in 2019, but don't worry, we will be right back with you in the spring as we get ready for a new and exciting year of High Point Rockers baseball. So take some time, enjoy the season that was, think back on the really good memories, and know that this team is ready to go. They are hungry to improve on what they started this year, and the Rockers will be back with a vengeance in 2020. So for everybody here at High Point Rockers baseball, I'm Kendrick Fruits saying have a good winter, and we'll see you in the spring. There's always next year, and the Rockers will be ready to go. We'll see you in spring.